All right, how you guys doing? All right, we're gonna have some fun tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Thaddeus Dean. I'm a licensed CPA. I owned a little bit about me, just to let you know who's talking to you. Um, I own a real estate franchise. In the early 2000s, had over 100 agents. It's called Exit Realty. It was in South Fulton, in addition to Lithonia back in the days. I'm all about building wealth, building it the right way. In 2008, who knows what happened in 2008? The real estate market died. Okay, guess what I did in 2007? Sold the franchises for $7 million and got out right before that. I'm a numbers guy. Numbers don't lie. Numbers are not emotional. Numbers going to tell you exactly where you need to go. Okay, now I own Cubano cigars. My family's been in the cigar business since the 1800s. On the back of my card, we have our own farm in Nicaragua, 100 rollers, Cuban seed grown in Nicaragua. We have 5 blends. We have a full body Maduro called the El Boss. We have a medium Connecticut called the Valdez. We have the Kokomo. It's a barber's pole. It has the Candela leaf. Anybody ever smoked the Candela leaf? Okay, let me give you a little history about the Candela leaf. Candela leaf is a green leaf cigar, very rare. We're probably the only ones in Metro Atlanta that carries it. It was JFK's favorite cigar. Go look it up on Google. When he put the embargo on Cuba, he had his Secretary of State fly down to Cuba, bring him 4 boxes of Candela leaf cigars, looked at them, and then once he looked at them, verified that they were in his possession, then he signed the embargo. Okay, I also have a full body Maduro called the El Boss, and we also featured the Habano leaf, and they're all hand rolled. So I'm proud to be here. Um, I'm all about building wealth. Okay, I'm all about passive income. While we're talking here, I'm not interested. I meet a lot of people. A lot of people ask us how much we make, how much you make. I don't want to know how much we make when you're working. I want to know how much you make when you're not working. A little bit of more information about Cubano cigars. We did the Super Bowl. We were in the locker room for the Kansas City Chiefs. We also did Married to Medicine. We're going to be at Chateau Elan on November 2nd doing the Wine Fest, the Vineyard Fest, the only cigar brand out there. I don't say that to impress you. I say that to show the fact that what you're smoking and what we're all about. We also do Sea Breeze Jazz Festival every year, 20,000 people, only cigar brand there. Um, let's talk about what we're here to do tonight. Let's talk about wealth. A lot of people talk about generational wealth, and one thing that always intrigues me, I don't care, and I'm not going to get political, I don't care who they put in the White House, you got to be positioned, and it's all about where you are. I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about the Wealth Society. What is the Wealth Society? It's a collective group of individuals who own their own businesses, who want to have a network of CPAs, doctors, lenders, in addition to high net worth individuals, and we do networking events. So let me give you an example of what we've done. We've taken 5 individuals and we've created LLCs in the Wealth Society. How many of you guys own your own business and rent space? Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. I don't believe in renting for more than 3 years because, man, what do you do for a living? You have a what? I'm sorry?
I have a transportation business.
A transportation business. You have an office? Your home office? Okay. What do you do? Huh? You own a plumbing company. Okay, let's say, for instance, 3 individuals, transportation company, and a plumbing company. Instead of renting space, imagine if I have the lender on the Wealth Society. He already knows, he's my brother-in-law. He already knows that all of us have a 700 credit score, 750 credit score. He's going to give us a line of credit for about $10 million. Already said and done. What we're going to do, we're going to put our plumbing company, I'm going to put the logistics company, in addition to my cigar brand. We're paying rent anyway, right? At the end of the day, we're going to buy a strip center, set up an LLC. We're going to put our businesses in it. We're going to sign 15 to 20-year leases. And after we do that, we're going to go back because it's all about cash flow and commercial real estate. I'm a licensed CCIM, but cash flow, we're going to, let's say, for instance, we bought this building over here for $5 million. All of us go in here and we build it from the ground up. We create the cash flows. We go back to my same lender who gave us a loan. We have cash flows. It's going to increase the value of the business. It's going to appreciate that business. And we're going to pull out another $5 million out of there day one. We're going to own it outright. We're going to have other tenants in it, and we're going to pay ourselves. A little bit different strategy. Now, let's talk about Uncle Sam. How many of you guys like Uncle Sam? Anybody in here like Uncle Sam? I do. Why would I like Uncle Sam? The wealthy individuals do not pay taxes. Okay, I have a client right now. He owns a construction company. We built the Braves Stadium and paid very little in taxes. Uncle Sam is my business partner. You ever heard that? Uncle Sam is my business partner. You want to know why? Because I'm going to depreciate every asset I have. This event here is a tax deduction. In addition to that, we're doing Chateau and Lawn. I'm renting a mansion. I got my friends coming out. Guess what? That's a tax write-off. When we go to Cabo St. Lucas, we're going to meet as a group. We're going to write all that stuff off. Everything we do is a tax write-off. Now, you may ask, the Wealth Society, it's not just about me. Imagine if all of us was part of a group and each individual talked about what they wanted to do, how they wanted to expand, how they wanted to grow, in addition to how they want to leverage everyone's opportunity, because everyone here has a sphere of influence. Now, we could do it ourselves, but guess what? If I have a sphere of influence, let's say of 5,000 people, you have a sphere of influence for, let's say 5,000 people. He has one of 10,000 people. If we network together and we cross-promote each other businesses, we get what's called an easy sell. In real estate, I took this from real estate because real estate was all about referrals, right? Imagine if we have a group where all of us are a referral. If I need a lender, I'm gonna go to the lender in the Wealth Society. If I need a transportation company, I'm gonna go to someone within the Wealth Society. That's easy business. Now, what we're responsible for in the Wealth Society? Number one, we give a competitive rate, a competitive bid, and we make sure we take care of each other. Wealth is not built individually. Wealth is built collectively. And we have to do things a little bit differently in terms of how we build wealth. Now, a couple things I want to share with you. How do we do this? As a CPA, I own my own. Next year, we're opening up another tax office. Because if I teach you how to I'll give you an example. I have a logistics company, similar to what you do. And he joined the Wealth Society. He owed the IRS $70,000. Okay? He joined the Wealth Society. He made maybe 1.5 million, I think it was. $70,000 he owed in taxes. He joined the Wealth Society. First thing I'm gonna do is, when you do your taxes, what is it, October, what's the date today? October what? 22nd. Okay. At the end of the year, you have to do your taxes, right? December, we do your taxes for April 15th. Can you make any changes? Nope. You can't. It's done. Whatever you've done, you can't go back to the day for April's taxes and say, I need to make changes. You know what wealthy people do? We do our taxes right now. We do a tax strategy. Because if I owe Uncle Sam, last year I got a $50,000 refund from Uncle Sam. He's my business partner. But the reason why I got a $50,000 tax return refund from Uncle Sam is because I strategized. And when I first did it, I was going to owe Uncle Sam about 70 G's. What I'm going to do with that? No. Am I going to give Uncle Sam $70,000, or am I going to maybe buy a Cybertruck and wrap it and make that a tax deduction as well? So you have a choice. Either you're going to, money is going to be spent either way. Do you want the government to control how they spend your money? Because they're going to get their money out of it. Do you want to control how you spend your money? I'd rather drive a Cybertruck. All right? Wrap it with Cubano cigars, put a humidor in back of it, and guess what? Uncle Sam's going to give me a tax refund of the $40,000. Okay? Another thing I want to talk to you about, You make money, real estate in Atlanta. How many of you have been here since the early 1990s? Anybody was here early? Okay, let me get, early 1990s, a 4-bedroom house cost $90,000. You know what I should have did? I should have bought all of them I could get my hands on. Okay, but 10 houses, owned them. At the end of the day, that real estate I owned, I rented them out. And, most people say, well, how did you rent them? How did you keep them occupied? Section 8. Section 8 is my business partner. In addition to that, I made sure my Section 8 tenant was so good that she would call me and say, your rent is ready. Okay? Why do I own 10 houses on Section 8? Because I could depreciate all 10 of them. And you buy a house, one house a year. In 10 years, you go back and refinance the first one, pull all the equity out. You haven't gone up on rent. Now that tenant is paying for that additional note, and you have cash. Eventually, you own them all free and clear, and now you go back and you're bringing in $4,000 to $5,000 a month off 10 houses where you wake up every morning. Every morning you wake up, you got $40,000 a month income, and you haven't worked for it. I deal with athletes and entertainers all the time because I tell my son plays pro ball. Trey Dean, he won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. And what's interesting, I always tell my son, listen, we're all about things. I'm not all about things. When you're comfortable with who you are, whether I drive a Bentley or drive a Pinto, I'm the same person. No one could get me to do anything, but we do investing. We get in the stock market. How many of you guys have heard of AI? It's going around. Let me tell you this. I got a mutual fund right now. It has Meta, Facebook, Instagram owners. It also has Amazon. It also has Cisco. It also has Tesla. What happened with Amazon? You know what Amazon's doing right now with AI? Did anyone see what on Wall Street Journal? You know what Amazon's doing with AI right now? Let me give you a little hint, and this is a stock tip. Now, let me say this. I don't endorse this. I'm not, I'm just giving information. But let's talk about where wealth is, because money is a currency. Money's going to move. It's a current. If you have $100 million and you don't move that money's going to move itself. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Amazon, let's get back to Amazon. Read it today in the Wall Street Journal. Right now, all these warehouses they have right now? How many employees do you think Amazon has in the warehouses? 400,000. Okay, it's about 480. Great guess. But let me say this. Amazon right now is using AI, and they're about to get rid of 70% of everyone that's in the warehouse. Robotics is going to do everything you see. Now, here's the question. How do we make money off of that? Anyone know how we make money off of that? What's that? Okay, operating machine. Okay, that's close. What about you? How do you make money off? Because see, I look at ways. If Amazon, that's what's called a clue. Amazon is not losing. Okay, every time I go to my house, I don't know about y'all. I got a wife, but every time I go to my house, I can't get through the front door because Amazon boxes done cluttered up the front door. Okay, the question is, how do we make money with Amazon right now? Buy stock. Because guess what? They already said in 5 years, we're getting rid of all of our employees. And why do you think that's going to work? You know why that's going to work? Number one, they've invested over $600 million in AI. These are billionaires, folks. This is going to happen. 78% of their people in those warehouses are going to be looking for a job. If you know anyone who works for Amazon right now, they need to buy all the stock they have in Amazon because guess what? They're about to lose their job. Walk my words. It's going to happen whether we understand it or not. Let's talk about the airport. Hartsfield. Remember the days? I don't know, I'm a little bit older, but remember the days when you went to the airport and you always had to talk to somebody? Those little kiosks? AI is going to be that whole model is going through everyone's business. Everyone's looking to get rid of labor and make more money. Because at the end of the day, Amazon is not about packages. Jeff Bezos is all about that stock price. Okay, so that's another hint. That's something that we talk about in the Wealth Society. Yes, sir.
So, one of the biggest, wealthiest investment companies or investments I've ever gone into
Uh-huh.
Home Depot.
What's Home Depot? Okay.
Home Depot, they say in about 10 years, it could roughly make you, if you were to sell it 10 years from now, you could make about $1 million.
Absolutely. Let me tell you a little something else. That was a great point. Let me tell you something else. Let me get another tip. Remember this company called Robinhood? Anybody know Robinhood? Oh yeah, everybody know Robinhood. Anybody bought stock?
Yep.
They had an IPO about 2 years ago. That stock has grown 235%. The IPO initially traded at about $12 a share. Now, you may say, hey, I don't have any disposable income right now to get in the stock market. Well, I have a plan for that as well. Average cost buying. Look it up. We have a system where every week, I put money into a mutual fund that does AI. When it hits, it's going to hit. You have Meta, Facebook, they're already spending, he's spending 1.2 billion on AI. These people are betting on this. Now, you don't necessarily have to know what it does, at the end of the day, you have to know where it's going to take you, because this is something that's huge. And this is what we talk about in the Wealth Society. Now, what we do, we have everyone here, like he talked about Home Depot a year ago. Imagine if I told everyone, hey, you know what, this IPO is coming out. It's coming out, and you could buy it now. Robinhood, everyone knew what it was. Suppose we all bought that and we had 1,000 shares of it. We'll be a different situation. We won't be worried about money right now. We won't be worried about a $20 cigar. Okay? Any questions so far? Now, the Wealth Society, let's talk about the Wealth Society. I don't do anything for free. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Because guess what? When you give somebody something for free, they don't appreciate it. For an hour of my time in a mastermind group, it's $5,000. Now, I don't say that to impress you, because everybody, you put a value on what you're worth. No one can tell me what I'm worth. At the end of the day, if you have good information and you invite people, you're gonna win. Now, Wealth Society, how much does it cost? Great question. Wealth Society is $49 a month. We do exclusive events like this every single month, and we build wealth. We bring people in. It's not gonna just be me talking. I'm gonna bring that lender in here, and he's gonna tell us exactly how to scale your business, how to franchise your business, and how to make money while you sleep. I told my son, 1,000 people paying $49 a month, how much is that? $49,000. $49,000. Okay, if you make $49,000 a month, do you really care what happens in the economy? Passively?
No, sir.
No. And my son, he was like, well, Dad, I play ball. He makes a good living, don't get me wrong. But it's a reason why 97% of athletes, I don't care what they pay them, after 5 years, after they finish playing, they totally are broke. You've never heard an owner say that we pay athletes too much money. Never. You want to know why? Because if they pay Trey Dean $5 million, our owner's making 20. So if I pay you 5 and I'm gonna make 20, I'm gonna give you 5 every single time. I'm like, how many 5s can you take? So, question is, how are we going to position ourselves? Because see, I'm not interested in your, matter of fact, for the $49 a month, y'all want to hear this? $49 a month, I even give you 2 cigars a month, because it's not about the $49. I want the knowledge. I want the network. I want to build something so powerful that this room is not going to be, we're going to have people waiting to get in. And guess what? You got to be invited in. We just don't take, I turn down athletes and entertainers, because you want to know why? I would take a $200,000 person that's willing to grow than a $100 million fool each and every day. Because $100 million fool, he's going to lose it all the time. Okay? Another thing I want to talk to you about, the Wealth Society. We just don't do events like this. The thing is Chateau Alon, we have a mansion. We're going to invite all the Wealth Society out. We're going to do events. We go on trips. We're going to Dubai in May of next year. It's already in the making. We go on trips together. We do fun stuff, but we're all about making money. I'm passionate about making money. Okay, are there any questions so far? Yes, sir. Okay, how do you join? I'm going to give you a QR code, And each person, if you join tonight, I'm going to give each person with the picture. Everyone will get a picture. I only bought one, but we will get it here. But it ain't about 49. I'll give you the code, and you join. And on the Wealth Society, you get to promote your business within the Wealth Society. So if we have 1,000 people, instead of you have a transportation company, a logistics company, instead of you having to go find 1,000 people, you put it on the Wealth Society. Hey, this is what I do. Here's what I have. And the members of the Wealth Society understand if I need someone in transportation, I need to give her the first opportunity. Okay? Let's talk about passive income. Let's talk about the Cubano cigars thing. Why do I own Cubano cigars? I love cigars, but it's not about the cigar. It's about scaling. About 3 years ago, my family has been in this business since the 1800s, and they're in South Florida. One thing about Cubans, my great-great-grandmother was born in Cuba. One thing about Cubans, they hate cold weather. So you know what they told me? You can have from Atlanta on up. We ain't coming up into the cold. You handle that. Okay? Now, question. If you have that opportunity, you got a choice. I don't believe in working hard. I can open up locations in Chicago, New York, Kansas City, Tennessee, and run them myself. But guess what? That requires work. I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be flying around here and saying, hey, I need to go check this out. I need to do that. So what I did was I franchised it. Okay? Because once you build a model in the Wealth Society, we teach you how to do your standard operating procedures. We teach you how to teach people how to put it on social media. And I have people right now, I've sold 8 franchises. We're in New York City. We're in Kansas City. We're in Tennessee. We have 3 in Atlanta. Next year, we already have a letter of intent for Houston, and Ohio is coming up as well. It was, when I first sold my first franchise, how much do you think I sold it for? Anyone want to guess? Let's give me a couple guesses. How much? How much?
7 million.
7 million? No. Because see, I don't believe in slow money. Okay, I sold my first franchise for $25,000 about 5 years ago. You know what that franchise sells for right now? $75K. And you may say that's low, but I want my people to win. I want millionaires in this. So while everyone have their little cute cigars and they're in cigar bars, they own their brand. I'm in multiple states. I don't care whether or not I love Cigar Bank, but I don't care whether or not Cigar Bank, Fellowship Fund. We sold 80,000 cigars day one. That's how you work smart. You don't work hard, you work smart. And right now it's $75K. The beginning of next year is going to be $100,000. The person who bought it for $25K, he went back and he got a loan against it and he pulled out another $50,000 just because he signed it for $25K because there's equity in that business. Okay? That's where we're going. I'm excited about what we're doing. We're going to kill this thing. I have no doubt. Another thing I want to talk about is how do you protect your wealth? Does anyone have a will, trust, power of attorney? Anyone? You have a will, trust, power of attorney, medical, and financial power of attorney? Very good. Why? You want your assets protected. Okay, and let me tell you a little story, y'all. Anybody heard of Prince? Did he have a will? Aretha Franklin, did she have a will? Michael Jackson, did he have a will? Billionaires, let me tell you this. Each of our members, here are the goals. Everyone will have a 750 credit score. You may say, well, I don't have a 750 credit score. We got somebody to handle that the right way. All these clowns out here saying they get you business funding and they get your credit hooked up and they get those trade lines, they're going to jail because that's called fraud. Okay, don't get caught up in that. Okay, because let me tell you why. Yeah, they can build you a profile. You can get a LLC or C Corp or S Corp, and they can give you that loan. But guess what? If I came and someone gave me a loan, and they will give you the loan, but if I don't have a business to support the debt of that loan, when it defaults, guess what that bank's going to do? They're going to go back and say, well, let's look at the underwriting. Let's figure out why we gave that loan. And when that person can't prove that they had a viable business, they're going to jail. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's a federal offense. Now, how do we do that differently? We're going to have a business. We're going to leverage it the right way, but we're going to use the system in the right way. Now let's talk about. I want to talk about. Let's get back to the will, trust, power of attorney. Wealthy people protect their assets. I don't want anything in my name. All my stuff is a trust. Reason being is one of you guys fall in my shop and they try to sue me. I don't have no assets. All my assets are in trust. My kids, I'm not giving my kids $20-30 million when I pass. They're going to have certain things that they're going to have to achieve to build up capital out of the trust, because I want my kids to be self-sufficient. In addition to that, I'm going to get right back. In addition to that, let's talk about insurance. We have people that do insurance. Does anyone in here have an insurance policy of $1 million on their parents, if your parents still alive? Okay. Anyone in here invested in 401k? Okay. Let me tell you a little story. This is free. Years ago, when I was in my 20s, I worked for KPMG Peakmark, a public accounting firm. I sat down with some friends of mine. They were good friends, but they were Jewish guys, and we went to lunch all the time. So we sat there, and they said, "Hey, Thad." I said, "Hey, what's going on? Do you invest in the 401k?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Why?" I said, "Because when I retire, I'm gonna have this 30 years in there. I'm gonna have some money to retire." They say, "You know what? They invested in the stock market, right? What happens to the stock market? And when you're ready to retire," they told me this, "when you're ready to retire, you're not going to, the market is going to dictate when you could leave." And they started laughing. I'm like, "Well, what do you guys do?" And they said, instead of going into the stock market, instead of going to 401k, all of us from 4 generations back, we put $1 million policies on mama and daddy, cousins, nephews. Everyone has $1 million policy on every person. Question: are life insurance policy taxable? When you get a premium, no, it's untaxed. So now, federal tax rate on $1 million is about 40%. That's $400,000. If you put it in the 401k and you got that much money, they're going to tax you on it. Okay? In addition to that, they said, "Let me ask you this, Fab." I said, I'm 20 some years old. I don't know about y'all, but my mom and dad, I can't go home and tell my mom and dad, "Hey, I need to put $1 million policy on you." They'll look at me and say, "Boy, you done lost your mind." I wish I would have did it, because you know why? I did it for one, but I didn't do it for the other. And they say, you know why? That's why when we go to funerals, there's not a lot of crying. There's not a lot of figuring out how you're going to be. How many of y'all get the call when somebody died? I'm that dude. When somebody died, they wait for me to show up to figure out how we're going to put this person in the ground. Okay? They said when we go to our funerals, there's no crying, because mom and dad know 5 generations down that everyone is taken care of financially. That's why when they have a doctor's office or they are attorneys, they don't work for anyone, because the parents say, "Okay, we have this $1 million policy. If you go and get a doctorate degree or you become an attorney, we'll put you in your own practice day one." That's generational wealth. And it's untaxed. So, I got 30 minutes. Let me say this. At the end of the day, and I told them, I was like, "Well, you know what? That's kind of morbid." And they said, "Well, you know what, Thad? You know your mom and dad are going to die, right?" And that hit home. But it's all about education, it's all about movement, and it's all about protecting your assets. Okay? Any questions for me? Because I have a couple other things I want to run by. Yes, sir.
So I have a Roth IRA, which is
A Roth IRA?
Roth IRA.
So come on.
I have a Roth IRA,
Uh-huh.
which is versus a 401k.
Yeah.
I heard it's kind of more secure than a 401k. I don't know.
Great question. Roth IRA is after tax. So basically, you got paid, you paid taxes, and you put in a Roth. Okay? 401k is pre-tax. You put the money in 401k, then you pay tax. The only difference between a Roth and a 401k is the tax consequence of it. So Roth IRAs is good, but you still pay taxes. The goal is not to pay taxes. At the end of the day, we have individuals that are making millions of dollars who pay. Who knows? What's the gentleman's name? Warren Buffett. Anybody heard of Warren Buffett? Yeah. Warren Buffett's assistant pays more taxes than he does. Warren Buffett pays very little taxes. He has everything that's passive income. He's the largest shareholder of the Coca-Cola company. It's in a trust, and every dollar he gets, he doesn't pay taxes on it. At the end of the day, you're going to pay taxes no matter what. Now, you may say, let's talk about credit. Now, I don't have to ask you your credit score because, you know, 3 out of 5 people have a credit score under 750. That's just a statistic. Google it. I ain't got to ask you your credit score. Question is, how do you improve it so that way you can make better decisions? We have a system where we get your credit restored. We can help you with your business loans. We can help you with getting your finances together, protecting your assets, and growing your business. Because if each of us were worth $10 million in a group, do you think we have to talk about anyone joining our group? No. In addition to that, now you may say, well, Thad, you're about passive income. How am I going to make passive income? Okay, let me tell you this. Anyone that you invite to the Wealth Society and they join, you get 10 to 15% residually off everyone you bring in. I'm all about sharing money, man. It ain't about at the end of the day, we could do things differently. We have a powerful organization. In addition to that, one of the things I want to talk about also is kids. How many of y'all got grown kids? How many of your grown kids ask you for money? Okay, I got a son. Lord, he gonna hate this because this is on camera. But I got a son in the NFL. Do you know he's still asking for money? And I said, boy, you make more money than I did when I was 25 years old. But here's the thing. We got to teach our kids a little bit differently. Because at the end of the day, you know, my son liked fast cars, fast women, and beautiful diamonds. Bad combination. When he went to the NFL, both folks say, hey, you know what? I want my son to buy me a Bentley or a house. I told my son, if you ever sent that to the house, I'm sending it back. I don't even want that stuff. Because at the end of the day, we have to be comfortable with who we are. You will always chase material things. And how are we going to teach our kids? I had this thing, I don't know about you guys, my kids are going to live better than me. You know what? That's a flaw. My kids should work harder than me, and then if they work harder than me, then they can live better than me. But they're going to work. Okay? Any questions so far? Yes, sir.
That's more the personal question. You sound like you started your wealth building in your 20s. What was the first thing you did as far as to move to wealth building instead of just making money?
Great question. I love that. What did I do in my 20s to make money? I'm a studier. So when I first got into real estate, I was working at Coca-Cola. And when I came to Atlanta, back in the early 90s, I thought they gave everybody a Mercedes-Benz. When you got your driver's license, I thought they gave you a Benz. Because everybody around here was driving a Mercedes. Anybody was here back then? And I thought, man, something wrong. I'm in Florida. We ain't riding like this. And so I got working for Coke. And back then, most professionals, they were renting high-rise apartments and that kind of stuff. They were paying like $3,000 a month back in the early 90s. I asked them a question. Hey, if I can get you a house and you spend less money for that house per month and you get a tax write-off, would you let me sell it to you? Absolutely. Okay. And when they let me sell it to them, guess what? I was working at Coca-Cola and selling real estate on the weekends. I was the #1 agent in my company on a part-time basis because I work smart. So then, how many of you guys in real estate, the broker gets 20 to 30%? Okay, at a certain point, I got tired of, wait. This joker's sitting at the house, and he's getting 20, 30%, and I'm out here in the heat. So what I decided to do was, you know what, I'm gonna get me a broker's license, and I am going to teach agents how to make money. But when you get let me say this, when you're in business, shoot high. So initially, I went, and this is free. Anybody in real estate? This is worth $1 million right now, man. Y'all need to join right now. I'm gonna tell you this, but this here gonna blow your mind. I used to get all the athletes. I used to sell them houses, all of them. And you may say, how do you get all of them? In real estate, I could tell the agent. Let's say you're an agent for who's the top. Let's say who's the top professional right now. Let's say you're an agent for. Who's the top football player right now? Who makes the most money? Lamar Jackson. He just, okay? Lamar Jackson. Okay? You're the agent. How many athletes you think want to live in Atlanta, Georgia? All of them. They ride around too. They say everybody living good in Atlanta. I go to you, Mr. Agent. Agents are greedy. They believe in making money while not working. That's why they got people running in the football field and they getting a check. I go to the agent and say, hey, here's what I'm gonna do for you. Give me your assistant. I'm a broker. Give me your assistant. I'm gonna give her a real estate class. I'm gonna teach her how to get a license. Okay, she gets the license, and I'm gonna pay her a referral of 25 to 30%, and she ain't even got to sell the real estate, and that money can come to your company. Are you gonna give that business away to anybody else? No. I ain't even had to advertise. I used to go to the $1 Million Sales Club, and they asked me, how'd you get all these clients? Because the big agents, they greedy, and you feed their greed. Because they're not going to screw themselves out of it. Why would I give this to another agent when the person works on my team, I'm going to give 25% legally? That's free. And it worked all the time. So while these folks were out here trying to hustle $40,000, $50,000 houses, I'm selling. I remember coming back from lunch one time at Coca-Cola, and I had a $60,000 commission check in my pocket. Now, guys, you got a choice. Wealth is built by leverage. Either you're leveraging something or something's leveraging you. I'm going to say that again. Either you're leveraging something or something's leveraging you. If wealth was built by working, day laborers will be multimillionaires because they work harder than any of us. At the end of the day, America is a capitalistic society, okay? This country is built off money moving and people being able to spend money, and you got to be on the right side of whether or not they spend it. You got to be the person who supply that item that they need. When you supply that item that they need, that money will come to you, and if you can control who you are between the ears, wealth is built between the ears, not by what you make. So the Wealth Society is all about passive income. We're not working hard for anyone. I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to build wealth. Now, we're here, we're blessed. We're smoking cigars. You guys, we can kill it. But at the end of the day, we don't beg people. We just tell people because opportunities don't go away. They just go to other people. How many of you guys have lost a good opportunity? I lost some good stuff. And every time you see it, it reminds of that moment. Let me tell you this. Today is October 23rd. 20 what? 22nd? Okay. 22nd, October 22nd. Give us a year. You don't join this team in a year, it'll look totally different. Is it going to be $49 a month? Absolutely not. But we're going to build something so powerful that, we have car lenders. How many of you guys like nice cars? I like nice cars. I'm going to give you something that's simple, free. Another thing, got a person in the Wealth Society, and my son, he wanted to buy, Lamborghini truck. Okay, most people will go to the dealership and buy the truck. He got good credit, got cash. I said, no, son, we ain't doing that. He said, what we gonna do? My buddy, he sells all luxury cars. I mean, and he gets them from individuals who are coming off leases, because most people who have those cars, they're leasing them. My son, no one's going to keep a 4-year-old Bentley. He's going to keep it about 2 years, because in 2 years, nobody want to drive a 4-year-old Bentley. I mean, if you got it like that, you want to keep going up. So we went and we bought one off a lease, and in addition to that, he put it in his LLC. He started a company. Now we're going to write off the taxes. Now he's riding for free. So that's what we do. You get it off 30%, cars, anything you need. And as the Wealth Society, when we meet, we give 15 minutes for everyone to give a pitch or what you have going on. Everyone contributes because you have information that I need to know. You have information. We all have information we need to know. We just don't know how to execute it. So that's what we're all about. But any other question? I'm going to end this real quick. Okay, so how do you join? I have a code I will send to your phone. You join online. We do classes once a week. We do events like this once a month, and we just build wealth. And we post in the society what we made, not what people. A lot of people in Atlanta, they're all about flash and no cash. A lot of people in Atlanta look good, they live good, but they broke. And you'll be surprised number of people who don't have $49. And let me say this. I used to teach people all this all the time, especially in real estate. If you don't have $49 of disposable monthly income, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. Okay? Yes, sir.
Once some week events, not events, but classes, are they online? Are they virtual?
Yeah, great question. Great question. I forgot about that. I do all my classes on Zoom. They're recorded. I have people right now. This is being recorded. This will be sent to people all over the country. I have people in Dallas, people in New York, Chicago, because people want this information. So we record it and we distribute it and we have it online for people to see. And like I said, we have stockbrokers. And let me say this. You may say, well, how do you know people in the Wealth Society are not crooks? Everyone that's in the Wealth Society, I have personally used, and they have been totally vetted. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is all about leveraging information and executing it perfectly. Because the guy who had the $70,000 tax debt, you know what we told him? When we turned it around, he got a refund. Next year, you're going to go to that same person, let him do your taxes again? Would you let the person do your taxes again?
Yeah, sure.
You would let, yeah, absolutely. Well, no, the person who did it the first time. No. Because guess what? Now I got you the refund. It's a slap in my face if you go back to that person. See, we have a responsibility, people, to be loyal. Loyalty means everything. I'd rather take someone who's loyal than someone who gives me $100,000. Because guess what? Loyalty, I know how to make money. We don't chase money. Money chases us. It's a different mentality. And teach our kids. I'm doing this. I'm good. I'm doing this to help people, teach my kids, help my children. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And we could be a force to deal with. Wow. One more thing I want to talk. Yes, ma'am. Okay. One more thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about. Oh, I'm gonna step on some toes here, but we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about the environment that we're in right now. I read a book. Anybody know who Robert Kiyosaki is? Okay, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Great. Okay, another thing, we read. Martin Luther King said, if you want to hire something, and we want to hire something from a black man, you put it in a book. I took that literally. That's true. That's true. As people, we don't read. Okay? But let's talk about Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. About 15 years ago, I have the book on my shelf. I read a book that Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki wrote 15 years ago. Now, you may say, why would you read that book? Well, if you're in real estate and there's a real estate mogul, one thing I give to Donald Trump, he's a real estate mogul. Okay, whether you like him or not, he is a real estate mogul. You learn from that person. I don't care who it is. And in that book, he said that America is going to be two classes of people. It's going to be like Mexico. It's going to be very rich people and it's going to be dirt poor people. Ladies and gentlemen, they're executing that right now. What side of the fence are you going to be on? I choose to be on where the very rich people is. I don't care about politics. I don't care if they put a monkey in the White House. It don't matter. I'm positioned no matter what. So we have to get out of mind. And this book was written. Go check it out. You can still buy it on Amazon. This book was written 20 years ago, and guess what? We're seeing it right now. The middle class is going to be totally wiped out. Middle classes is going to be gone. You know, I order cigar boxes. Anybody heard of the tariff? You may say that don't affect me. The hell of it don't. I ordered 500 cigar boxes from China. Guess what I had to pay before I ordered the boxes, paid for them. They got to UPS, and UPS said, we can't ship them unless you pay this 25%. UPS wouldn't even ship it until I paid. And you may say, well, the tariffs don't affect me. Well, guess what? I had to pay that 25%. Otherwise, I'm not getting my boxes. That's the economy we live in. How many of you guys like nice clothes? I'm going to get in trouble. My lady likes purses. I hate Louis Vuitton and Chanel, and I hate that stuff. Okay? But if we're going to buy it, if we're going to buy something like that, I got to make money off of it. So we market it. She's going to have her own cigar brand. She's going to fashion the stuff, and it's going to be a tax write-off. I'm not giving nobody nothing for free. I'm done with that. Because if a billionaire could pay less than $700 a year in taxes, why are we paying anything? The question is whether or not you're going to position yourself. I'm big on tax strategies. Every year the tax law changes. You ever heard of the big beautiful bill? that just was passed, you know what? You got to position yourself because with that bill, it's made for wealthy people. They made, I hate to say it, I'm being real with y'all, and they made for poor people. But there's certain things in that bill, if you bought that Cybertruck, you can write off 100% of that Cybertruck year one. So if I don't need, let's say if I have a $30,000 tax debt, I buy the Cybertruck for $100,000, whatever the cost is. I'm gonna take that 30,000 off that million I paid, get my taxes to zero, and I'm gonna roll forward that 70K that I have for future years. That's how you stop paying taxes, guys. Okay? One more thing. As we grow, we have a responsibility to help others. It ain't about us. Money is not about you keeping it. It's about how do you help other people perpetuate income. If you're willing to help people and build, you will be blessed. One thing, this is not about us coming up in Ferrari. I laugh at those jokes. You see them on social media. Everybody ride up with a Ferrari. Everybody rolls up with a Bentley and all that. And guess what? You look at them, look at their house. They're renting houses. You know, social media is crazy. There's a place right now, I can take y'all to it. There's a guy, I'm not gonna call his name. He's always on a private jet. Okay, supposedly. Do you know that there are companies out here that will stage a private jet, bring your guy out there, and you can sit on there every time you need a private jet and fake like you're riding in a private jet, and guess what? You would never know. It's that good. I didn't call his name. But people like flash. But think about it. Millionaires are not flashy. Billionaires are not flashy. Mark Zuckerberg, every time you see him, he's in a what? White t-shirt. Now, I don't know about Joe. Anybody got more money than him? So why is he in a white t-shirt? I ain't got more money. I mean, why is he in a white t-shirt?
You don't have to look like it.
Nah, he ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. And on top of that, I'll give you another example. There was a guy, let's talk about stock. There's a guy, when he first started out with Facebook, it was a world-renowned guy that did murals, and Mark wanted the mural in his office. The guy said, he asked the guy, okay, how much is the mural? The guy said, I need $70,000 for the mural. I mean, this guy, he was accomplished. And you know what Mark told him? I ain't got 70K, but I'll give you 1,200 shares of Facebook. You know how much that guy's worth right now? He's a multi-millionaire because he made a decision and he knew it would work. At the end of the day, AI is going to totally change what if you ain't heard nothing yet, if you don't join the Wealth Society, I don't really care about that. Get involved with AI, people. This stuff is going to leave you behind. And it's going to change. I'm going to cut it off here. If you met someone, if you want to connect with someone, ask questions, find out. Another thing, we're an open book. Anybody who wants to be in real estate, part of the Wealth Society, I give everything I have. Anybody here under 30, raise your hand. Under 40, raise your hand. Okay, we're going to stop right there. Under 50, raise. Okay, under 50. Over 50, raise. I'm proud to be over 50 because you know what? Back in the day, brothers ain't made it over 50. I know a lot of folks that didn't, so praise God, I made it over 50. But let me say this. Those of you that are younger than me, I would trade with you right now and give you everything I got if I could. Why would I do that? Why would I do that?
The resources and knowledge that you have right now.
Resource and knowledge. How many of you guys who are over 45 would trade with someone who's 20 right now and give them everything you got? Those of you under 20 or under that age, it's all about sharing knowledge. Because guess what? When you started your company, we did not have mentors to ask anything. When I was in real estate, I have 2 franchises. Exit Realty is right across the street. That's the X franchise I sold. I had over 100 agents. Our operating expenses per month was $150,000 a month. You think I could go talk to my dad and say, hey, Dad, I got a problem. I'm not able to pay that $150,000. What you think I should do? I did that one time. You know what my dad told me? Boy, you got $150,000 worth of debt. You know, lost your mind, you're going to lose everything. But let me explain something else to you. Wealthy people leverage debt. If you're scared of debt, you ain't gonna be wealthy. Good debt. Good debt. And at the end of the day, if your bills are $150,000 a month, but you're bringing in $600,000, you will pay $150,000 every single time. And you can't get shaken because when the market got shaky, you got to know how many you got. One thing I believe is everything's for sale. If someone offered me enough money for Cubano cigars right now, I'll sell it to you. I'll walk out and say, congratulations, you need me to help you consult for you? Everything is for sale. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. My family, this got my family name on it, but I had to tell the family, hey, we done made it. It's time to get out of this. We done. So here's the thing. Don't get attached to anything. Build your company for the exit strategy and understand that it's bigger than you. And if you're younger and you want information, one thing about the Wealth Society, we're open book. This brother right here will tell you everything you need to know if you're serious about executing it. But get in, understand, learn, develop. Anybody, and marketing. And one thing I don't do well, anybody do social media well around here? How many of y'all over 50 do social media well? I don't see no hands. I don't see no hands. You know how much money is, man, if I was your age right now in social media, you're in real estate. And man, let me tell you how real estate worked in the 1990s, okay? You got on MLS, you printed out all your listings, they put the address on it because we didn't have maps and MapQuest. We had to take the directions that someone else wrote, and you had to drive a client around and try to figure it out, okay? At the end of the day, we are in a technology. There's people making millions on social media. Build you a social media profile. If you don't understand it, how you doing, brother? Build you a social media profile. If you don't understand it, hire someone who does, because that's another form of leverage. Let me say this. If you're not making money on social media, you are a slave to social media. Why I say that? You want to know why? Because you're being perpetrated to make someone else money on social media. That's why they sell ads. They're selling ads to people who are not familiar with social media. So that's another thing. We're going to do class on social media, how to leverage it, how to build it. I made a mistake right now on social. I just told a friend, I'm not going to tell you what I did on social media. I made a huge mistake on social media, and I had a friend of mine come by and say, Thad, you shouldn't have done that. You need to change that. But at the end of the day, social media is where it's at. Yes, ma'am. What was the mistake? Oh, good question. I guess I'm going to have to tell y'all because y'all part of the team, right? Oh, man, my lady going to kill me. I got engaged, okay? And I came up with this idea that, had a great time with somebody, and I decided to put it on my social media with Cubano cigars. Ooh. And I'm gonna be real. Can I be real with y'all? I'm gonna be totally 100 with y'all. Immediately, the female customers in my company, the numbers declined. And you may say, oh, that's hate and all that. Hey guys, I'm about money. Guess what's coming off my social media? Anything that's personal. Because people don't care about what I do personally. They want to know if I got the best cigars north of Havana. And we got to get out of self-promotion. Because as a people, Mark is not on every Facebook and Instagram profile saying I'm the owner and here's the billboard. It's an entity that grows whether with you or without you. And that was the mistake that I made, and I don't want somebody else to make that mistake. Now I got to scrub all that stuff off. But I didn't know. I never did it before. I'm going to throw this out here, show what a good time we had, vacation, all that. That's all still going to come off. Because, I hate to say it, personality and people who like you or even infatuate with you sells properties. Sells anything. If you're in sales, it's about how to connect quickly, how to get them to like you, how to build trust, and how to close the deal. And you got to be secure of who you are and what you're doing. But at the end of the day, I'm not letting nothing change how I make my money. Okay? But yeah, that was a mistake I made. And see, in the Wealth Society, we share this. Because guess what? I don't do social media well. You don't do social media. Guess what? Guess what you ain't going to do? You ain't going to post that stuff on your business. I wish somebody would have told me before I did it, but it's okay. We learn, we adjust, and we make the right decision. Now, I don't know who's been here talking, but for me, I don't talk about anything unless I add value. Because God blesses people who have value. Do not add value. Do not be a taker. I can't stand a taker. Y'all know who they are. They're the individuals that every time you go pay the bill, I don't care if it's $300 or $20, they're going to look at you and play like they ain't got no money. I need people who we fighting over the bill. Because at the end of the day, the Wealth Society, we fight. You know why we fighting over the bill? Number one is a tax deduction. Number two is more blessed to give than receive. And number three, we owe it. If you got it, you have a responsibility to help people who are worthy. But if you always are a taker, you're not my friend. How many of y'all need a new circle of friends? I'm being real. Film this, brother. I need a new circle of friends. Because if you always are the person who make things happen, who book the trips, who pay the bill, who pay the everything, guess what? If you're around 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th one. So, and that's just real. And I just want to change my circle. I don't know about y'all. I want some billionaires. I want to have somebody say, you know what? We sit up here and I closed $20 million worth of real estate. I want that person to stand up here and tell us all how they closed $20 million of real estate. Whether we get it or not, he's documented. You can't get mad for somebody who did it. So I'm changing my circle of friends. If you were my friend, and I've done what I needed to do, but now it's time to change it. Hey, guess what? I'm comfortable. How many of y'all got enough friends? I'm cool. I got enough friends. Matter of fact, I'm about to share some. Anybody, friends will bring you down. You can't be jealous. We applaud people. But at the end of the day, change your circle. Change your circle. Okay? That's all I got. I'm done. Any other questions before I get me a cigar? Yes, sir.
What advice would you give to entrepreneurs just now starting up and they haven't had this information?
Number one, great question. Information is always moving. First thing I would say, congratulations on being an entrepreneur. Okay? Let me tell you this. How many of y'all are entrepreneurs in here? Is it easy? How many of y'all wonder how you're going to pay the bills? Let's be real. I'm being real. I don't care what you make. If you're an entrepreneur, I would say this. Number one, get your corporate structure set up properly. Understand. The first thing I want to, anybody know what the rule of 72 is? Anybody know the rule of 72? Anybody know the rule of 72? Lord have mercy. Okay, we're going to talk about this right now. You ain't going to walk out of here without knowing this. Huh? Compound interest. Rule of 72 is a financial calculation. You take the investment, you divide it by 72, and that determines how long it takes your money to double. Wealthy people know this. So before you make any decisions, people come, when you make money, how many of you guys make money and everybody come to you with an idea? That's why athletes are broke. They want to do chicken wing stands, nightclubs, they want to be rappers. If they did the rule of 72 and they divided how long it's going to take to double your money, the mathematical equation is not going to change. Numbers don't lie. Numbers are not emotional. They don't care if you love it. If it don't work with the numbers, I'm not doing it. Another thing I would say, only get in businesses that you know something about. It don't matter if you don't understand it and you can't hand off your business. The first thing I would say to you is work your business the first 3 years like you never worked before in your life. Another thing I would say, document all your processes. Make it successful, document all your processes, because then it's repeatable. And then after that, you figure out, okay, how do I sell this to someone else where I make money, keep my business, but someone else duplicates. Oh man, I need to tell you guys this. Why would someone spend $75,000 for a cigar franchise? When I first did this, people would tell me, man, you done lost your mind. Nobody gonna pay that. Okay, let me tell you why they would pay that. Margins are 68%. Okay. Number two, when you start your business, you start your plumbing company, it was all trial and error, right? How many mistakes you made? Plenty. It cost you. In the cigar industry, you can't put everything on. I can't do a square and say I'm selling cigars. I thought I could, because guess what? You ever heard of the ATF? Alcohol and tobacco. There are a lot of companies that can't even accept liquor and tobacco. That's why we're all pretty much on the same system. I didn't know that. So what I had to do, the reason why you're gonna pay me $75K, because I had to spend money, lose money, figure it out, and to spend money again. I did that for about 5 times before I found the right system. But you join me, I'm gonna give you the right system. I'm gonna give you the website. You're gonna look just like me day one. You're gonna have all my credentials. I'm gonna sell you all the product. Only thing I do is just execute the plan. And you may say, okay, I'm gonna just use cigar business as an example. Most people, please get something to eat. Most people who own a cigar brand, you know, they have 1 line of income. I believe in 5 lines of income. You may say, okay, how does your cigar brand have 5 lines of income? Let me tell you. Now, let's say, for instance, you're a potential investor. How you doing? I'm bad. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna interview you. Because guess what? Your business is valuable. If you don't believe in it, nobody else will. Okay, and I tell you up front, I'm not taking everybody to come with me. I have a criteria of who I want to deal with. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is 5 lines. We got 5 lines of business. We have a retail location. We do corporate events. We do wholesale. We do memberships programs. You may say, ooh, and then on top of that, the 5th one, wholesale membership program. What am I missing? Retail wholesale memberships program. Wholesale. What am I missing? Memberships. I'm missing franchise as well. Okay, but you may. So what happens? The membership program. $49 a month. People get it worldwide. I ship them cigars because guess what? If I do an event in Florida and I sell you a cigar and you love it, you ain't gonna fly to Atlanta to buy my cigars. I already know that. So everybody that get a cigar from me, they're gonna get a card on it. It's gonna have my website. It's gonna have all my information. The first time you go home, you like that cigar. I'm that consumer. I like that cigar. Hey man, where's that guy that sold me that cigar? You go on the web sales. That's fifth one. Okay, you go on the website, you buy the cigar. Okay, my CRM is going to tell me this person buys 3 cigars from me every single month, and he's spending $62. Okay, question. I could take the $62 and hope he come back every month, or I could put him in a membership program for about $45 and keep him every month. Which one do you want? So I go back to that customer and say, hey, you know what? You've been buying my cigars. I appreciate it. We have a membership program. We can save you money, and you can pick the cigars you want to put in your membership. And all that I need to do is your debit card, credit card, and I'm gonna automatically bill it. And I'm gonna send it to you like Amazon does theirs. Run the same play. So that's how. But if I would first run my business, document my business, get my taxes in order. In addition to that, learn how to franchise, and then once you franchise, it take care of itself. And teach people. Now, let me say this. Most people, when they sell a franchise, you have to train people, because I tell people that this is something I tell all the time. If I sell you a franchise and I teach you and you don't make money, I will give you half your money back and take the franchise back. Okay? What do you have to lose? I've been in business to open up a real estate franchise that was $150,000 liquid cash, and they told you up front, 90% of them fail. So you have to give people a value proposition. Because guess what? Even if you number one, if you follow the plan and you know it worked, and I meet with them every 2 weeks, I ain't never have to buy one back. But even if I have to buy one back, you done sold my product to everybody in that area. Guess what I could do again? Sell it to somebody else. Ladies and gentlemen, it's smart. You got to put yourself in the consumer shoes. At the end of the day, we are not going to lose. But that's a great question. I'm done. I have one more question. I'm done.
What I have, can I add to what
Yeah.
you just said?
I would say also make sure you get your good mentor on top of what you're doing. Like talk about franchise and stuff like that. Franchise is a good way to get your good mentor as well.
Oh, I got another one for you. Y'all ready for this? Don't live off the income from your business when you first start. You don't live, you can't use your money, because guess what? Your business will have slow months. If you got to pay the mortgage, or you got to book money into your inventory, 99% of the time you're going to pay the mortgage. And guess what? You lost the opportunity. Don't start a business unless you got another hustle. Yep. I work like crazy. People think it's two of me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I keep my day job. I'm a partner in the real estate company. I'm never going nowhere. They're going to have to wheel me out there, but at the end of the day, how many of y'all have ever been laid off? We keep it totally 100. I've been laid off. I remember one time I walked in, I had 3 kids, got laid off, and The worst thing I ever had to do was tell my wife and kids, Dad ain't got a job. Another thing you tell your kids, I don't care how much money you make. I told my kids, we don't own this house. We get to stay here every 30 days, so Dad has to find the money. I was in real estate. I didn't know. I don't get a check. They asked me, hey, Dad, we gonna stay in the house? I don't know. We're gonna see what these closings look like. But at the end of the day, make sure that you're not living off your business. Let it get strong enough to build equity, income, and cash flow, and then you live off of it. Okay? That's all I got. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night. Please see me if you want the code. Thank you. Whew. Hey, boy.
Let's go and get that membership.
Oh, yeah. Come, where's my phone? Boy. Yeah.
All right. So, because I got an early flight.
No, go ahead, boy.
I'm gonna do my kid show.
Okay. Woo. I am starving.
Yeah, so my wife is Nikhil.
Oh, cool. Man, bro, you got a great wife, man. Stick with that one.
I'm telling you.
I ain't gonna tell you that. I told you that one there.
Yes, sir.
Stick with that one.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nothing out here for you.
I'm telling you.
I work with her. She is on it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what's
She
your?
gonna put me in the mind state of
Oh, no doubt.
entrepreneurship. So